Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers today, showing you how to install the seat covers on the 2020 Polaris 1000. Let's do this. Again, this is the install on the 2020 Polaris Ranger XP 1000. First step that we're going to do is put on the driver backrest. So this section right here, and here's the cover for the driver backrest. Okay, this particular set has a multicam black for the trim and black ostrich for the insert. Here's the straps. These straps are going to go down to these buckles, these 4 buckles down here. And then these 2 elastic straps, they're just going to tie off to each other and keep those bottom corners in nice and tight. And again, these straps are going to pass down the back to these buckles right there. So first thing I'm going to do is just get that cover oriented on here. Just hook those corners on like that. And then also it helps a lot if you come down here and you pull that seat forward. So I'm gonna take that seat adjustment and then pull this seat forward here. And that's gonna open up some space right there. Just make sure that you have plenty of space to work with. And take those straps, pass them down. Now this strap right here on this corner, this one, what I like doing is just passing that on the inside of that bar. So instead of going on the outside, just go on the inside of it, right there. And then these, you're gonna want another tip is to get this bottom corner pulled around all the way nice and tight. So that way it gives you full coverage on those sides right there. So I'm just gonna start working this around and then pass those straps down and then start hooking those straps up in a second. Okay, so I've passed these straps, these 4 straps down on the back side right here. And now behind here, I'm taking this, there's 2 elastic straps, and you're taking these 2 elastics, and I've just taken one and looped it through the other. And now I'm just gonna take that, pull them tight, and tie that off. And then that'll keep those bottom corners down there nice and snug. Next step is to fasten the straps. So you can see all of these straps have come down to the buckles. You're gonna put those in to each buckle. There's 4 of them. And what you're gonna wanna do, again, is put it through this middle slot first, and then through the outside slot right there. So again, that middle one up here first, and then through that one, and that'll cinch it up. That just like that, so going through like that. And then once you pass those through, then you can reach underneath and pull those up snug tight. So now I have pulled those snug tight, I pulled those straps up. And one thing I like to do is hold with one hand right here and then reach around with my other arm on the back side and grab that strap and then pull up. And again, I'm not cranking very hard. I'm just pulling it so it's snug. That's really all you need. Just snug fit it, and then as you work your hands around this cover, it really just kind of molds to that seat and fits on really nice. So you can see that backrest should fit just like that. Now that we've done the backrest, we're gonna move on to the driver bottom. And so this is the bottom section here. 2 straps that go up to buckles right there, and then a drawstring around the outside. Okay, and this particular driver, this customer chose to have a driver MOLLE pocket sewn on the driver's side. Now on these Rangers, the driver bottom section comes up right here, at least on this particular year, 2020 it does. So there's this section that just flips up like that. And then also you could pull this entire seat out if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna leave it in as I do this install and just kind of start fitting it around. Okay, so I've fitted over now. So I've got this front corner up and this back corner up and covered. And now what we'll start doing around the back side is we'll take these straps, bring them up to these buckles, put those through on both sides, and then take this drawstring across and tie it off. Okay, so now, just so you can see, I've tied off this drawstring around the outside right there, and then these straps to these buckles have been tightened up right there, and I can just pull that tight right there. And that, I didn't even take the seat out, but again, you could, you know, remove it out of the front right there. So I'm just gonna leave that in right there, and then that is gonna go down, and then just lock in, and there's your driver bottom. Next piece that we're gonna do is the passenger backrest. So this is the 60 backrest right here. Here's the backrest cover. Here's the straps on it right here. And these straps again are gonna go down to buckles around the back side. And then also it has the elastics right here that will tie off, and I'll show you how to tie those off. They can either tie off to one of these straps right here, or what you can do is tie them off together. That's what I like to do. I just use a little bit of extra string from one of the bottom covers and just draw a string to those two together and tie them off. But that is, so we're gonna do this 60 section backrest. First thing you're gonna wanna do is make sure you pull this seat belt forward and then slide the seat cover through on the inside of that, because it's gonna go right next to the seat like that. So you're getting that through right there. And so that seatbelt will come around on the front. And now what I'm gonna start doing is just kind of hooking this over and fitting it into place. So before you start putting the straps down the back, again, you wanna get everything kind of snugged around the corners. And that's what I've done right here, is I've got this around the corners, really got it lined up with pretty much how it looks like it should go here. And then I'll pass those straps down and secure. Next step you're gonna wanna do is passing these straps down the back side. Now in the middle here, that's pretty simple because there's open space right behind there. Where it gets tricky is there's two straps right here that are a little tighter. And what you're gonna wanna do is, a couple things is, what I usually do is I just take a little spacer. This is a white plastic trim tool that's sent in with your seat covers, and I can push that in there a little bit. And then it creates just enough space so then I can pass a strap down right in between the plastic section that's connected to the seat and the metal bar. And that creates enough space so I can pass this down right there. And again, that usually does it for me. If you're in a pinch, what you can do on these, if for some reason it's not going through here, what you can do is you could take these screws off right here, these one, 2, 3 screws off, and then what you can do is you can actually lift this seat out. There's two little clips that it hooks on, and you can just lift it up and then lift it out if you need to do that. Now I find that I can just get it with just creating a little space and pushing those straps down, and then they'll come down here and then strap onto the buckles. But that's one idea for you. Again, here is that view right here of taking the spacer and just pushing spacer tool, and then that creates just enough space for this strap to pass through right there. Now that you've pushed those straps down the back side, you're gonna wanna put them through these buckles right here. So here's these straps, and they're gonna go through the buckles, through the middle slot, then the outside slot, and then cinch back up tight. I'll show you a back view as well. So here's these straps. Again, I'm going on the inside of these metal bars. You wanna go around those. If you go around those metal bars, there's not gonna be enough length and it's not gonna look great. So just go on the inside of those, as close to the seat as you can. So here's that inside one going right there. Here's those middle ones coming down right here, and then here's where I want that middle one, and here's that outside one right there going down, and then gonna go down to that buckle. Now that I have taken all these straps and gone through the buckles that I need to, I'm gonna start tightening them up. Now, you'll find that it's kind of tough to get in the right angle to tighten them up from on this side of the seat, on the front side of the seat. So really, it's better to go around on the back side and do this. Now, if you have just a single row, if it's not the crew cab, I do recommend that you take your strap right here, and you can try to reach up. So take your strap right here and pass it up. But what's nice is if you take this strap and tape it onto a hanger or a rod, and then push that rod up on the back side, up to where you can reach it on the back side right here with the other hand, and then tighten it up right there. So that's another way to do that. I'm just gonna do it since this is a crew cab. I'm gonna get it sit on the back seat and just sit on the back seat and then pull those up. Now that I'm on the back side right here, again, I'm gonna take these straps and pass them up from the bottom, the buckles down here, and I'm gonna take this strap right here and just pull up on it. And I've done that on all of these right now, and just pull it till it's snug. You don't have to crank on this too hard, and just pull up on it and then snug them all up. And as you're doing that, just check out the front side as you're doing it to make sure that everything is really staying even as you're doing that, and one side's not tighter than the other or twisted around. And again, it should just snug right up. You just get all those snugged up on the back. Next step is to take this elastic and fasten this elastic on. And what you can do is, what I like to do is I like to take a little extra string. This is from the driver bottom. Take a little extra string, tie one to this elastic, and then go over to the other elastic over here, and then tie it off right there. And then that gives you a little bit of more of an adjustment where you can kind of reach around to the two elastics, tie them off together. Now, if you weren't to do that, you could take those elastics and tie them off to just one of these straps as well. That's another option. Here's another view showing you where I've taken just a little extra string right there, tied it to that elastic loop, and then I looped it around over this other elastic. And now that allows me just to tighten those up, and then I'll tie those off and we'll be good to go on the backrest. Here's another view once they're tied off. Again, what I've done is just taken that elastic over there, and then this other elastic, this is these bottom corners, what keeps those bottom corners nice and tight. Just tied it together with a little extra drawstring, just trimmed it off of the front driver's seat. So I could tie that up a little bit more, but that's gonna keep it nice and tight around those sides. That's what you do with those elastics. As you can see, the driver backrest is done now. Those corners are staying nice and snug around right there since I did those elastics, and all of those straps going down the middle, those are all nice and snug, tight. Now again, I didn't crank real hard on those. Again, I just snugged them up. Next section we're gonna do is the 60 section bottom, so passenger bottom. Here's the bottom cover with me. It's gonna have the straps to buckles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buckles that we're doing it with, and then here's the drawstring around the outside, and here's those front straps are gonna be on the front right there and pass to the back. And first step is I'm just gonna get things, get the whole cover kind of corners wrapped around before I start doing any of the fastening straps. Now what I've done is I've put all these corners on, so just fit it around on all the corners right there. I haven't tightened anything down just yet, because what I'm gonna do now is just flip that seat up. Again, here's the passenger MOLLE pocket. Just flip that up, and then make sure these straps are all lined up, ready to go. And then these straps are gonna go down to these buckles, and then attach onto these buckles down here. I have now cinched up all these straps, so the straps have gone to the buckles right here, and those are all looking good there. So I checked the front to make sure things are laying down nice and smooth, and yep, they're looking good there. So those straps are done right there. And now what I'll do is this bottom drawstring around the outside, and that needs to tie off to itself. So here's the drawstring. I have tied a loop in one of them right there, and then I've taken the other string, looped it through the other side, and I'm just pulling it snug right there. And now what I'm gonna do is just tie that off. And one little tip for you is if you take that drawstring and put it on the inside of these straps, it's kind of nice because it just kind of hugs it up against the seat. Just a little pro tip there for you. Okay, I got that string all tied up right there. So that'll make those corners right around here just snug in a little bit more and just kind of hold the cover. Really, what keeps the cover on is just the fitment of this cover first off, and then also these straps going to the buckles nice and tight there. So that is it for the bottom section. That's that bottom 60 section. That all looks great and finished out really nice. Okay, so that's that one's done right there. Now what you could do is these straps, if you don't want these straps just kind of loose flying around, you could trim some of these a little bit shorter, or you could just kind of wrap them around, tie them off up here. I do that sometimes as well. Now for the rear seats, I actually don't have the covers for the rear seats today as I'm doing this video, but just to show you, the rear seat is going to install, this rear seat's going to install the same way. This is the seat behind the driver right here. So it folds up like this, same thing. So you just straps down the back to buckles and is just going to push down into place after you get that cover on right there. And then this bottom, the 60 bottom right here, this folds up the same exact way as the front seat. So that'll be the same install as the front seat as well. Now this back seat on this one, this is a little different because this back seat is a solid backrest. So you can see the whole thing is solid instead of a 60/40. So this backrest will be connected to the back of the cab, and then this backrest will be connected to the back of the cab. Now this would also be the same if you have a one row, so not a crew cab, just a single row, like a regular cab, Polaris Ranger. It's gonna be connected to the back, especially this one right here will be connected and be a little tight. Now, again, same step that I was showing on that one on the front. What you're gonna wanna do on these is you're just gonna take your plastic tool, okay, and you're gonna push it in between, right in the middle, okay? And then as you push it in between right there, that's gonna then open up just enough space on the side of that you can pass down your straps down the back side. So I have one right here where you can see that. So this, again, this cover right here, this is just a sample cover. And here is the strap. Again, you push that in. So it's gonna be this plastic piece right here. This is connected to the seat. And then this plastic piece has a hook here and a hook here. So if you push this in, right in between those, so right in the middle of those two hooks, that's the best place where you're gonna get the most flex out of that piece right there. Push it in. I wouldn't use anything bigger than this little tool right here because you don't need that much space and you don't wanna flex that too much, but there is enough flex inside that seat where you can just push that in and then slide those straps in right there. Now we're gonna install the headrest cover. So here's a finished headrest cover right here. So as you can see, I got this one on, and as you can see, the finished install cover, it just barely caps over these edges. Okay, when you're installing this, you just know that that's really all that it caps over. It just barely caps over the edges. So as you're putting this on, and there's an elastic around the outside. Now this customer chose to have a logo. You can choose to have a logo put on if you want, but you know, if you don't choose a logo, it'd just be the headrest material. This one is multicam black. And so again, it's just gonna barely cap over right there. So we're gonna put this on right here. So I'm gonna get it started and then I'll do a video after I've put some of it on. So I've got this started now. I've just barely capped over that top right now. And then I'm just gonna work these sides around. Again, everything should just barely cap the sides. Now, if you don't have a logo to orient yourself, this one with the sew line right at the bottom right here, that is the bottom of the cover, okay? So that'll be the bottom, and that's how you orient it to get it lined up. Now I'm just gonna work this around and just slowly pull this on each side and get this on, so then it's looking like this one right here. Okay, I got it on. So again, you can see that I've just barely capped this over. I mean, some sides it's not even, you know, not even 1/4 inch. Just barely caps over right there. You can see again how this one fit on right there. Just barely going over the edges right there. And that's really all you need. These headrests don't get a whole ton of sliding because you're not sitting on them. It's just your head, you know, rests there. And so again, that's how they should finish out. Just barely caps over. It looks really nice in the end there. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully that install video was helpful for you. If you have more questions, feel free to visit the website coversandcamo.com or contact us through the website there. Again, that is the place to see all the different fabrics you can build the seat covers out of and also get a set ordered for yourself. Now again, the website is coversandcamo.com, but also please check us out on our YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow us there for a lot of cool sets that we're building up. Now again, if you have questions or want to see more, go to coversandcamo.com. Thanks.